Hi guys and welcome to another episode of Paul's POV. This is How to Audiophile Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, I'll leave a card for you up here to click on. I'll also leave a link for you in the description below. In today's episode, I'll be talking about hi-fi gear and where you can start should you want to get into the audiophile hobby. So the question on most people's minds is, where do I start? That's pretty simple. You need to figure out your budget. Are you going to buy headphones, amps, DACs, speakers? Once you figure out what you're going to do, then it makes sense to start from the end. The end being, what are you going to be listening to? Are you going to be listening to headphones or speakers? There's no point investing in an amp if you don't have something to listen to it on. So once you invest in a good set of headphones, you can always drive that with your phone for the first few weeks or first few months. You can invest in a portable amp or a desktop amp a little while later. Some headphones have a much higher resistance than others, so you'll need a much more powerful amp to drive them. Your cell phone may not be enough, so keep that in mind when you're buying headphones. Headphone and speaker resistance, also known as impedance, is measured in ohms. Most headphones measure between 16 to 600 ohms and speakers usually between 4 to 8 ohms. If you have a set of headphones like this that are about 250 ohms, and if you were to plug these into your phone, they'd most probably sound a lot like this. There's going to be a significant amount of recess in volume. A lot of the punch, a lot of the clarity is going to go unless you were to invest in a headphone amp, something like this, where you can plug into and boost your signal separately. At some stage, you can move on to getting a dedicated DAP, a digital audio player. It'll play everything from MP3s to FLAC, ALAC, you name it, uncompressed, compressed audio formats, these will play. You just need to look out for the high-res sticker on most of these. The FLAC file is also known as a lossless file. There is a certain amount of compression, but there is no loss in quality in them. They're not as aggressively compressed as MP3. So FLAC files are considerably larger than MP3s, but they're not as large as a WAV file, which is why a lot of people prefer this format. It's gained popularity thanks to the fact that it's not exorbitantly large and it also maintains a lot of the quality despite the compression. It is also available now on a lot of HD audio sites for purchase. Having a dedicated DAP also means your internal DAC and your internal amp is definitely going to be considerably better than your cell phone. So the chances of getting much better quality from these is much higher. Investing in a dedicated DAC can have significant benefits to how your audio sounds, because this is where the ones and zeros revert back to their audio form. How that's done is very important. There is a plethora of DACs available out there, so you want to take your time with your research before you commit to one. If you have higher impedance headphones, it makes sense to invest in a portable amp or a desktop amp. The chances of this being better than an internal amp in a phone or an internal amp in a digital audio player are significantly higher. Some of these amps have a gain switch as well. It increases the output by a few dB. This one in particular has a bass boost switch which you can toggle on or off. It's used more if you have open back headphones for a little more depth, or if you want a little more oomph in your closed back headphones. There are a range of headphone drivers out there, but the dynamic driver has been the most common and most affordable one you can buy. You get them in closed back and open back designs. Open back is literally what you're thinking they are to be. The outer shell of the headphone isn't sealed like the closed ones, so expect a considerable amount of sound leak in and out. So these are definitely not ideal to use in office areas or if you're flying. You're better off using them at home in a quiet environment. With open back headphones, you tend to have a more spatial experience. The sound isn't restricted and resonating within your ears because of a ear cup. The sound has a lot more space to breathe and it gives you a more live experience. Closed back headphones sound like you're sitting with your band in a recording booth, whereas with open backs, it sounds like they're playing live for you on your roof. So instead of having the sound inside your head with closed backs, open backs sort of give you this bubble of sound around your head, giving you that much more space. So most of you have heard closed back headphones. If you haven't heard open back headphones, give it a try. It's not for everybody, but how will you know you like them unless you've tried them? So there are different ways you can experience your music once you get into the audiophile hobby, and it sure can be a stress buster by the end of a long day. Yes, there can be a significant amount of snake oil in the industry, but it makes sense to try and listen to these little things to form an opinion for yourself. Because at the end of the day, what really does matter is your own personal enjoyment. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what I'm doing here on my channel, remember to like, share and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in for some sound advice. If you haven't seen part 1, you can click on the card above and I'll leave a description in the link below.